Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. There is an axiom, I think it was first attributed to the Roman writer and historian Flavius Vegetius, who said, "He who desires peace must prepare for war." I think that axiom is becoming increasingly true for us in this country and throughout the world as we consider the threat of Islamic jihads. There is a coming conflict. Yesterday I reviewed once again the video, The Third Jihad. It was narrated by a Muslim physician, a moderate Muslim, who was really exposing, and with remarkable documentation, exposing the threat that Islamic jihad imposes to the world. The first two jihads were, Islam was spread primarily through force. They just overcame and forced the conversions. This jihad, the third jihad, will use force when it can, but in the case of Western Europe and the United States, they're not able to overthrow them by military means, but more subversively, they will use their own rights, for example, in our country, the freedom of speech and freedom of religion, to come in and exploit our freedoms and impose Sharia law on them. Now, if our government sees that as a threat, we have no indication of that, virtually none. If the media does, they're totally silent on that. Their silence is scandalous in my view. But this is happening, and it will increase, I'm persuaded. In the video, Bernard Lewis, the expert on Islam, said, for all practical purpose, Europe is Muslim, as of now, and will increasingly be so. But more specifically for our purposes, there is a fixation of Islam and of jihadist Islam upon Israel. Just this past week, there was an article written by Ali Reza Forkhani. He is an Iranian politician. He is an official closely tied to the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And he said this: Iran must attack Israel by 2014. They recognize that Israel is preparing to act preemptively against such a strike. And they're recognizing that they have to do it. And he goes on to say this. He claims that Tehran is capable of annihilating Israel within less than 9 minutes using its present arsenal. Now, may I say, that is an existential threat to the very survival of Israel. They recognize that, and they will do something about it, and I'm persuaded that they have the capability to neutralize the nuclear capability of Iran. I'm sure that they can do that. We could do that. Whether we have the will to do that, I'm not sure. But they have the will to do that because they recognize that their survival is at stake. As a matter of fact, they say, Forkhani said in his article, this is the final annihilation of Israel's people. So conflict is coming. It's inevitable. It's not a matter of if, but when. Now, what do we do as far as Christians are concerned about this? Well, certainly there are actions that we take to forestall this. But I think the scriptures give us a clear indication from Jesus' words, for example, in Luke chapter 21, verses 28 through 36, where he says, when you see these things beginning to take place, stand up, lift up your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. He says, even so, when you see these things happening, you know that the kingdom of God is near. And then he says this. This is a remarkable statement. Be always on the watch, be intent, be fervent in your watch, be discerning, and pray with fervency that you may have the power to escape all that is about to happen and to stand before the Son of Man. That is a remarkable passage. And I would say to you, Jesus didn't say for us to do that if he didn't fully intend to answer that prayer. Pray that you may have the power to escape all that is about to happen and to stand before the Son of Man. Conflict is coming. It's inevitable. But so is the kingdom of God coming with power and great glory. So until next week, Od Ki Yavo Shiloh, until Messiah comes, Shalom Aleichem.